It's time for Recipe of the Day. I forgot yesterday to say welcome to October. I was so excited about the bacon gravy and all the viral TikTok stuff that I didn't realize it was the first day of the month. So happy October to you and happy Monday to celebrate Monday. You know, I often like to make a big pot of soup for dinner on a Monday, and then I have leftovers for the next day or a couple days after. Bowl of soup microwaved. I work from home, or thermoses for the kids. That works great too. Today's recipe is for homemade cream of chicken soup. It is kind of like that canned condensed chicken soup sort of thing, but not as stodgy, not quite as thick, and with all real ingredients. You know what's going into this. You know what you put. You can control the amount of salt. You can control the amount of fat. You can add more vegetables to it if you want to. So this is really like do your way version of that classic thing. I grew up with it, but I don't tend to buy those cans very often anymore. And so when I want this, I make my own. If, however, you are not in the mood to make your own soup today, I have an alternative for you. Before I tell you about that recipe, I'm going to tell you today's recipe is sponsored by Zoop Good Really Good, and they have a whole line of delicious soups that you can feel good about. There are 9 flavor-forward options that appeal to the full spectrum of soup lovers. Their varieties include chicken noodle, chicken pot pie, spicy chicken chilada, a low-carb chicken and riced cauliflower, tomato bisque, butternut squash, garden vegetable, vegan black bean chili, and a portobello mushroom bisque that, much like the chicken soup I'm talking about today, offers a nice alternative to that canned soup. Whether you are having it just to eat out of a bowl or you're going to cook with it, it'll work there. So tasty, so good. All Zoop products are packaged in recyclable glass jars and are free of artificial ingredients, preservatives, and GMOs. They're available at your favorite natural and mainstream retailers across the country and through Instacart, and at their site, zoopbroth.com, at walmart.com, and amazon.com. And I have a coupon code for you. You can get 20% off your first purchase on Amazon when you use code 20recipeof. That code is good until October 8th. I will put the link to the Amazon Zoop store in the show notes for this podcast episode, or go to Amazon and search for Zoop. You'll find it there. I cannot wait for you to try these. And now back to making cream of chicken soup. You're going to get out your soup pot, whatever you're using, a large saucepan, and you're heating it over medium heat with 2 tablespoons of butter in there until it's melted and bubbly. Then you're adding in a small onion that you've chopped up, and you're just going to cook and stir that occasionally until it's softened, about 3 to 4 minutes. Then add in 2 cloves of minced garlic and cook for about 30 seconds while stirring. Then add a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. You're sprinkling that on there and then sort of stir it all around. It distributes among the onion and garlic so that it's going to be less likely to create clumps once we add our liquid. To that flour, you're also adding a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Once that's all mixed, you can cook it for just a moment, and then you're going to slowly pour in some chicken broth. Now, you can use that Zoop chicken broth, or you can make up some stock using their culinary concentrate. That works great as well. So you're going to pour in just a little bit, maybe like a 1/4 cup, and stir, whisk, keep that nice and smooth. Add a little bit more in, continue to stir and whisk it up, keeping it smooth until you have added the full 4 cups of stock. And then you're going to bring it to a boil over high heat and then reduce it down to low. And that is when we're going to stir in some cream. 1/2 cup of heavy cream, or you can actually use a 1/2 cup of canned evaporated milk, either the fat-free or the 2% if you're trying to make this a lighter soup, or you could use whole milk. That would work. 1/2 and 1/2 works as well. Just, of course, the higher the fat content of the dairy that you add, the richer and creamier it's going to be. And you know what? I should have said, backing up a little bit, this does not make a really, really thick, stodgy soup. If you want it really thick, you would add more butter and more flour at the beginning. An extra tablespoon of butter, and then an extra up to 2 tablespoons more of flour when you add that flour. So this makes like a nice creamed soup, but not like a thick cream soup, the way the recipe is originally written. If you add the extra flour and butter, then you'll get something thicker. Okay, so you added the cream to the soup, and you are also adding in the chicken finally, right? It's 2 cups of diced cooked chicken. Now, if you wanted to, you can cook the chicken in the soup. You would have done it before adding the heavy heavy cream. Once that stock mixture had come up to a simmer, drop it down to a low simmer, and then you could add in some diced raw chicken, and you just simmer it until it's cooked, and then you add in your cream. But here I'm going with, assuming you have some leftover chicken, rotisserie chicken, 2 cups of fully cooked diced chicken going in, and then you're just heating the cream through on low for about 5 minutes, and then that is it. You serve it. It will keep in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. It doesn't freeze super great because the dairy separates, so I would not recommend that. And there you have it, a delicious soup for your Monday. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there, or find it in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/recipeotd. And hey, just a quick note. I'm on a recording hiatus right now, so for the next little while, I'm replaying episodes from the archives, including this one. If you heard me mention a holiday, a season, or something going on in my life that seemed a bit off, that's why. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're enjoying these older episodes. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, cookfor2.us, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.